Hey there, Monarch Nation. We are talking Old Dominion University women's tennis with head coach Dominic Manila. Coach, good to see you again.
Good to see you, Ted. Thanks for having me.
Lots has happened since we last chatted. First and foremost, how is the team doing? How is your staff doing? How's the family doing as we wade our way through COVID-19?
Ted, thanks a lot for asking about my family. Family's doing great. I got two healthy kids, which is most important in these times. Moving past that onto the team, I think the team's doing well. Just came off a big win against Notre Dame in a national tournament. So positive start to the season. I feel pretty good. We feel pretty positive.
Yeah, the thing I thought of when I saw that you're going to the ITA kickoff weekend in Chapel Hill, it's almost like NASCAR that starts their season with the Daytona 500, the biggest event of the year.
Yeah.
You guys certainly jumped in the deep end with matches against Mississippi and Notre Dame. North Carolina, #1 in the country, also included in that field. The strategy there in terms of getting your team into the deep end so fast?
Well, strategy this year, a lot of times, especially with the schedule, we can just throw that right out the window with the situation we're all in. We were actually scheduled to play Temple on January 16th because of the situations that they had. That was canceled. And so then here we are, we're playing our first match of the year is, against Ole Miss in a national tournament. And, at that point, we're like, well, what a great way to start. We got experience. Maybe we don't need a match before a match or anything like that, something like that. And we went into it. I thought the team had great attitude. Just from the top. With the experience that we have, it just paid off. And we didn't get the win. I've talked about this with you before. And sometimes our most important matches are losses. The year before in 2020 in the ITA kickoff, we played #1. North Carolina, played them very closely. It ended up being maybe the most important match for us, because we learned so much from it. So I think we learned a lot from the Mississippi match, turned around the next day, and got a great win against Notre Dame.
What are the type of things you want to learn in those experiences?
That's a good question. So, I think that with this group, with this group, they are their tennis it's spoken for itself. They have the level, they have the talent. They all come from backgrounds that these types of pressure situations. Yeah, this is pressure, but they've dealt with pressure on the court a long time. They have the proper acumen to perform at this level. So it wasn't really, hey, getting them ready. It's just getting you ready, mentally ready to compete at this level is difficult. And then, something that you can use to your advantage or just use just to understand is that every team is going through this. Every team is going through this, and the teams that we are playing are in similar situations. Talent all the way through the lineup, every spot. There's not a weak spot out there. Everybody's got good shots, but it's just who's going to come up, who's going to come up with the win, and it's going to happen from the shoulders up, especially last weekend. So, those are the types of things we're learning. It's like, hey, when you're pinned in the corner, and they're just hitting you with those jabs, how are you reacting to that? How are you taking the hits? And that's really what you're trying to learn about. It's like, hey, where are our players? How are they responding when they lose points? How are they responding to the points that you lose? Because, Ted, you have a background in tennis. You know that, hey, man, you lose a lot of points when you play a match. And it's how you respond to the lost points is sometimes more important. And in the beginning of the year, I think in this setup, this weekend, how we responded to the lost points was key. And the way we learned and how we acted, whether it's, hey, on the deuce points or on the points we lost, that, hey, we didn't feel like we were aggressive enough or we didn't dictate enough. Maybe we were just too passive. We were waiting for them to make a mistake instead of for us to stepping up and winning it. And that's just human nature. You get tight, in those types of things. And so we learned when we were doing that, we kind of got our blood flowing. We activated that part of our brains that we haven't really been able to touch since March. And, Spinal Tap would say they're turning it up to level 11. And so we got to level 11. It felt great to be there against Ole Miss. Man, dang, we lost. But, man, it felt great, even better, to turn around and get against Notre Dame. Those are the types of things we work on, we're trying to learn about.
Let's go back to March, Coach Dom Manila of the ODU women's tennis team. You're rolling right along. You're 11-2. You're top 25 in the country. And then the season is stopped. And
yeah,
you talked about tennis being a sports. Yes, it's very physical, but also from the shoulders up. How have you changed your approach, or how has the approach had to change because of all the outside emotional influences that the pandemic has brought upon these young student athletes?
Well, I think with that question, I think you can give a lot of credit to Old Dominion and the department and how it, from our president on down, how they handled things. Let's start with, this is a tough job. It's time demanding. It demands a lot of time, and also the players, they have a tough job. They travel a lot. They're expected a lot. They have a 3.8 GPA. As a team, and the semester you're talking about, they pulled a 3.8 GPA. They're top 25. We just beat LSU, 3.8 GPA. So these people work very hard, and they work very hard for Old Dominion. And anytime you're doing something hard, you're going to be stuck with, the situation like, hey, do I need to put my family before my job, or do I need to put my job before my family? And they were faced with that too. Like, hey, should I go home to be safe, or should I stay here and just gut it out? Or, what do I got to do? And same with me, should I be just pounding it still through this? And Old Dominion took that decision out of our hands, said, hey, you guys put your families first, and that's it. We got you back. And then when this is all over and when we can kind of get back to normal, then it's go time. And I'm very appreciative of how the university handled itself that way, that we were all able to put our families first. And then, but, through that, and that understanding, that empathetic approach to this, I think that we became closer, because we all realized, hey, we're all here, the same reason on this earth. And I think that really kind of connect us a little bit. And so then when you talked about how we had to open up this year, it was just like, wow, what a lucky situation we're in to be able to compete. A lot of people worked very hard. Talk about our trainer Rochelle, like what she does every day. Rochelle, we talked about it. Rochelle actually, I think she totally cares if we win or lose, but she doesn't work hard every day for us to win or lose. She works hard every day because she cares about us. She wants to be healthy, and she wants us not to get sick. And that type of dedication, those types of things, it kind of fueled us. I think it fuels us, and we feel it, we see it, we sense it. All that support we got, and we can jump out there and we could take down a Notre Dame, who they finished top 25 last year. I mean, it's Notre Dame. We took down the Irish in January. That's a great feeling.
Having an international roster, from Israel to Minsk to London to the United States, et cetera, on a good year, that's a fascinating proposal for you, to get everybody to work as one when they come from so many different backgrounds and so many different cultures. With the pandemic, I would think your players, your team, look more than ever to you to be the coach / father figure, because they were so far away from home, and the pandemic seemed to shrink the world a little bit and show us that everything is connected. Would that be an accurate statement?
Well, maybe. You can never replace somebody's father. As much as you try, you can never replace somebody's father. But you can kind of be somebody who's a supportive figure, and you can try to maybe act that part and do your best to be there for them. And that's all we could do. And just as much as it is, Yana could be is the mother figure, and and we just all leaned on each other. I mean, there was the discussion to bring players back just after Christmas, because like you said, we have some players from Minsk and from all over the world. So not everybody follows a Gregorian calendar when it comes to Christmas. A lot of us have Christmas on January 7th. We was always able to kind of avoid that, bring them back on the 9th. Families can too. And then all of a sudden we're bringing them back December 26th, 27th, to get ready for this type of season. And, those types of discussions, it's not just hey, let's talk to the coaches and figure out the best way to win. It's like we talk to the players, we talk to players' parents, you get a feel for it. And I think those types of conversations go a long way. Hey, we're all in this together.
So you finally get on the court to play tennis, to compete. What a nice feeling that must have been for everybody.
Yeah, that was great. The first couple practices, I probably could have been a little more engaged. I was just kind of running around giving fist bumps. I was so pumped to be out there. But Yana held down, ran great practices. And then when we got to, I really love managing game days, the match days. I really love that. That's kind of my thing. And when we woke up at the hotel, actually, And I just had miscommunicated with the hotel, I guess. And so I thought we were waking up. You know, we usually do the gym in the morning. So we had gym at 6:20. Two groups go to the gym 6:20 in the morning, and then we have breakfast, and then we hit the road. And so I thought we had a hot breakfast at 7, ready to go. Looking around at like 6:15, it's like, this isn't looking good. Something's wrong here, you know? And so realized there ain't no breakfast. You know, we're getting ready to play Ole Miss. So we just, you know, hey, solve things, get them going with the gym. Call this place called, I think it's called Brandywine's Bagels. That place was awesome. 10 egg and cheese bagels ready to go. 6:55 roll up like nothing happened. So, you know.
Good to be back on the court. And this weekend, it's off to the Sunshine State for Florida State in Central Florida. Hopefully you'll get a home match against Norfolk State coming up the first weekend in February. Coach, congratulations on getting this far. Well done in the ITA Kickoff Classic in Chapel Hill. And we look forward to chatting with you throughout this season.
Thank you very much. Hope to bring Monarch Nation good news from Florida State and UCF. It's going to be two tough ones. Florida State been top 10 all last year, the last 2 years, excuse me. I think they're preseason 13. UCF also in and out of the top 10. I think they're right now they're preseason 18. But last year, I don't think we gave them our best shot. Really looking forward to play Florida State on the road, outdoors. Great opportunity for the Monarchs. We hope we're going to give them our best.
Dominic Manila, the head women's tennis coach at Old Dominion University, joining us. And let's go Monarchs.